beautiful people. It is that time of the month, or the end of the month. It's time for me to do my 1 mile for time. And man, it is fall down here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off. Door walk.
Hello, beautiful people. It is a rainy evening now here in our home, well, outside of our home. And I wanted to preface my whole little video, well, it's already started, so it's not a preface, with I am still feeling quite blue. Even now, even though my birthday has long passed. By long, it's not really, it hasn't been that long, but nonetheless, it has passed. I'm clawing my way out, and I wanted to talk about the way that I've been feeling. I wanted to acknowledge that I feel this way. I didn't want to gloss over it. And I also wanted to share why I really don't want to share this video, which will be more towards the end, but it's all good. Let's just start from the beginning of my day today. So I woke up very unmotivated, very uninspired, and with a commitment that I had already made to go work out with a group of people. It was our first time working out. It was my first time working out with this group, and I woke up with so many overwhelmingly negative thoughts about the experience and about how I didn't want to go. And I was like, I'm not going to not go. If I don't go, I will regret it. If I don't go, I will feel worse. And if I go, worst case scenario, I just feel the same. I just feel the same kind of the meh feeling. And so I decided to go, and I'm so glad that I did. While I would say after the workout, I still kind of feel meh, I had an amazing time. The people around me feeling their excitement for me being there with them and being excited to be there with them once I got there really motivated me to go hard in my workout. I did a bunch of things I've never done before, and I did something I hate. We did front squats, something I love. We did a bunch of wall balls. I love wall balls. It's just I really like tossing the ball up against the wall. Like, I don't know why. But I do. So we did some movements that I love, some movements that I hate, and some movements that it was my first time trying. And man, it was a lot. It was a long workout, and it was quite awesome. And I love doing it with a group of people. So eventually I'll tell y'all more about this, but it will probably be a while. I want to keep it mostly for myself right now and just enjoy it. But back to, I woke up and my first thoughts were to rob myself of that opportunity. My first thoughts were of all of the reasons why I didn't want to go, and even putting in some valid stuff, like valid things that I needed to do today. And I just had to get over my excuses. I had to get over my feelings. And even though I didn't feel motivated, I had to just decide to do it anyway. And I did. And again, I feel like it's important for me to acknowledge my bogged down state right now, my feelings, because I know many of you feel like this at times. And I feel like this is also the point where a lot of people spiral. And if they do, binge eat or do other harmful things to themselves, like this is, I feel like the feeling, this headspace I'm in right now is like the point where that typically comes from. And instead of binging or doing anything that I would have done in the past over this last year and a half, I've built these habits, and I know I talk about them a lot, but habits are powerful, and they're still sometimes a struggle to stick to. But one of my favorite habits that I have exercised, it's like a muscle that I've built, and I've exercised this muscle a ton, and that is having patience with myself and patience with the process. And that the practice and patience, allowing me to accept the way that I feel right now, which is a little bogged down, a little blue, and allowed me to talk myself out of any sort of really bad decisions. And I'm not saying that if you build a solid foundation of healthy habits that you will be able to do that too. We're all so very different. I'm just grateful for the habits that I've built, and I'm grateful that right now that I'm able to. And so I feel like I'm clawing my way out. And I do feel like it's in times like this that our habits can carry us. Motivation is always fleeting. It's never something solid to lean on. Motivation will leave you high and dry. But building a foundation of solid, healthy habits, it gives us stability. It doesn't mean that there won't be dark days or feelings of blue or lots of work to do, or that even when we're in the habit of doing specific things that we'll always do them. Sometimes we won't, and sometimes we'll have to rebuild the habit. But again, I am so grateful for the growth I've experienced over the last year. Increasing my patience with myself it's just amazing. It's helped me be more forgiving when I don't live up to my expectations. And it's solidified my knowledge that I will get to my goal. I will lose 200 pounds. It's not if, it's when, and it is happening. It will happen, and it is happening. And I am not so desperate for it that I will sacrifice the longevity of it. And I do want to say something. For me, on my journey, I have gone the fast weight loss route before, and the way I did it was a mistake. But that doesn't mean that if you want to be more aggressive about your weight loss journey than I am about mine, that's bad or anything like that. Like, I would never judge anyone for their rate of weight loss, and I hope no one judges me for my rate of weight loss. I have been through that crash diet. I have the leg injury where I destroyed all of the muscle and stuff in my leg so I tore my ACL, MCL, and the meniscus in my knee, broke my ankle, and tore a ligament in my ankle, and had to have 2 surgeries. Like, it took a long time to overcome that. Like, I have things, and you have things, and our journeys, our goals, none of that will be the same. I am doing what I know is best for me, and I want you to always do what is best for you. And I will always be here rooting and cheering for you, regardless of how I'm doing things my way. You can see things completely different, and I'm still going to cheer for you, girl, because I want you to get your goals. I want you to get there, regardless if your journey looks anything like mine. I mean, a lot of people watching, they don't have weight loss goals. So we all are coming to this little community with different needs, and I hope that it's always an open and loving place for us to share. I know it is. I know it will be, because it is. I love seeing the kind support and uplifting of each other in the comments. It makes me so happy to see people commenting on other people's stories, and I am unbelievably grateful for those of you who trust me and share your stories with me, for you to share your ups and downs. When I share something and you relate to it, for you to share your background and why. And those of you who've been on a weight loss journey alongside of me, who share your ups where you've lost a lot of weight and you're feeling great, or maybe your downs where you've lost some of the progress you've made, but that you're continuing forward. I love all of those comments, all of your stories. You are so special, and wonderful. And I'm so grateful to have you here on this journey with me. So going back to, it has become a habit for me to be patient with myself. And patience is something that I have never really had in my whole life. So to acknowledge that I have some patience is a pretty remarkable thing. It's like I have arrived. But not really. But it is a pretty amazing that I really feel like I've exercised patience with myself. And I think that it's really powerful. It's been several weeks now that I've kind of had this meh feeling, and I'm not beating myself up about it. In the past, I would. In the past, my self-depreciating tendency would have like had a field day with these feelings. I would be so much worse off right now. And maybe I haven't hit all of the goals. And maybe while I did an amazing 3 mile for time on my birthday, like I was really hoping that this walk would be so amazing. I was like, I'm gonna do it in faster than 17 minutes. But then today, I just didn't feel motivated. And part of it is that I had worked out, and part of it is that I had done other things. But most of it is just, I really constantly am battling with myself to do the things that I'm doing. Like the habit is getting me to the stage, and keeping me on the stage is like sheer willpower to a degree. I don't know if you can relate. Comment down below and let me know if you can relate with what I'm saying. But right now I am definitely putting this patience that I have cheered myself on about to the test. I am definitely trying to practice patience with my low feelings, with my blues, and trying to do that while continuing to power forward. A lot of it's just been on my mind and in my heart, and so I wanted to share. And I am so grateful that I did not let my negative self-talk and the negative voice in my head win this morning. I got myself up, I took care of business, I went and worked out with that group. And finding that group is something that I recently did in effort to combat the feelings that I've been having. I feel like I am missing a sense of community, and since everything that's happening in the world, it's very hard to find and build community right now. If you have suggestions, thoughts, let me know in the comments down below how you do that offline. I feel like I am starving for human connection. My husband and I are both pretty extreme introverts, but I think it would be healthy for me to have more of a social group, and I have not put in the work to create that here. Part of it is because of all the things going around in the world. Like, I definitely have been keeping it closer to home, and I think it's time to respond in a socially responsible way, make friends. And so comment down below, what are ways that you're doing that these days with everything that's going on in the world? I would love to know what your thoughts are, your tips and tricks, or are you? I think a lot of us are starved for community, and we try to find that online, and online can be an amazing place, and it is, especially here in this community that you guys have built. It's such a positive and uplifting place. There's something about like today working out, having someone there with me that's like excited and smiling, and I'm smiling, and we're all just smiling. It feels good. Or we're all like, it's like competitive energy feeds off competitive energy. That's one thing I loved about mine and Yena's workouts. While we weren't ever really competitive because we were not on the same page, like I was never going to beat her in things, but still having that energy was motivating, and that was the same today. I am so proud that I got up and got after it today, and I think it's the start of something great. Maybe it's the start of me coming out of this. However, even though it was such a good experience and I had like a rush after, I still ended up feeling the same sort of melancholy. I walked the pups, and it was the same thing. We walked for about 3 miles, and it was really nice. And then when I got home, I was just like, meh. I don't want to do anything. And then my husband came home early and I was like, this is probably the only time to film this 1 mile per time if I'm going to do it this month. Part of me didn't even want to do the 1 mile per time this month because I just did the 3 miles per time. And I had a lot of pressure in my mind about beating that 17 minutes. I really wanted to beat the 17 minutes. Little did I know, I wasn't even going to beat my last month's 1 mile per time, which made me not even want to show you this video. But as an exercise in practicing patience with myself, I am not letting myself back out of things that I have committed to. And while I haven't outwardly committed to this to you, I have been doing 1 miles per time almost every single month without fail. And so I was like, you're doing it, you're sharing it. This is not the best and the brightest, but this is the realest. Yeah, this walk, I wish I could say that I'm so motivated and so proud, but I feel a little discouraged. I feel confident that this is not my whole story. This is not my whole picture. And I feel like it's important to share moments like this where it didn't go quite like I wanted. And maybe 1 mile per times are not going to go where I want them to go. Maybe it's going to be a little bit before I see real improvement. And maybe I need to start really warming up beforehand, because I was all the way to mile 3 when I did my 17-minute mile. Whereas this, I walked for maybe like a quarter of a mile briskly. And then I did my 1 mile. I should have walked probably a solid mile at a brisk pace first. And so anyway. Other things, I tried different positions with my arms. I don't know why, but like I tried to, I just wanted to be fast. I kept going. There were like periods where I was like, I'm going to go fast. And then there were periods where I was like, I gotta go to the bathroom and my legs hurt and this sucks and it's humid. Like just really dumb things that I was choosing to focus on. And then I saw those puppies that y'all saw just a few minutes ago and I was like, puppies! Like completely losing focus. But that's neither here nor there. I do want to take just a second. I've mentioned this before. Starting on the 15th, I have a thing. I'm putting together. I don't exactly have a name for it yet. I think I do, but it's not all together. I will be fully announcing it on Tuesday the 14th. But it will be about a 31-day thing. And it's not really a challenge, but it's kind of challenge and challenging. There's no prizes. The prize is battling the holidays with healthy habits. And it's not really battling the holidays, but making the most of the holidays. I don't know. But I'm excited about it. Yenna is going to do podcast with me every single day for that whole 30 days. These are going to be short podcasts. I'm talking like 15, 20 minutes. But we're not doing the most. It might even be more like 10 minutes. I don't know. But there will be daily motivation, encouragement rather. And I'm excited for it. So at yoga, I put it on a mode where I don't get alerts. And so typically when I do my 1 mile for times, it buzzes at me when I hit 1 mile. And that's when I look down and I'm like, this is my mile time. But it didn't buzz at me. So I walked a little over a mile, which is okay. So the first mile, I came in at 17 minutes and 31 seconds. I had picked it up like that last maybe 3 minutes or so. And so by the time I got to mile 2, it said I was going 14 minutes and 40. I don't know if I believe that, but that's when I stopped. You can kind of even see with my heart rate was pretty even. And then like I really started pushing as hard as I could to get that time down. And that is where I ended. And I'm not the most happy with my results this month, but I am happy that I did it. I'm happy that I wasn't feeling it and I did it anyway. I think that that's important. And I also think it's important to focus on big picture and not this one thing. This is not a setback. This is just a point of measure that I take, and it didn't read what I wanted it to, but it's there. I am stagnating on my mile for time. So, I mean, even if I did it faster, like, than last time. So I did the 3 mile for time in 17 minutes flat, the 3rd mile. And I think I even did the 2nd mile faster than this. But regardless, it's more like when I push hard, 17 minutes to 17 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe even like a range from 17 to 18 minutes is going to be that number. And I'm just going to have to keep pushing until it goes faster. And there's no telling how long that will be. This is a new territory for me on my journey. And let's take a look back at the beginning. This was my first mile for time. At the time, I was just proud that I completed a mile. I completed a mile, and at this point, it was still hard for me to get up and off of the ground. So like standing, if I was sitting and I stood up, getting up was a challenge. And so now getting up and down is not a challenge. Tying my shoes is not a challenge. Putting my socks on is not a challenge. I can stand up and put socks on with balancing on one foot. That's amazing to me. And it's sad that I know that it's amazing, because I feel sad that I was ever not able to do it. And one day I may not be able to do it again. Like, as we age, we lose mobility and balance and things like that. And I'm still regaining balance from both my leg injury and from my weight. And so it will take some getting used to, but I am proud of this. It's exactly 30 minutes that I improved. And I mean, I don't know how I did that, how I got 17:31 and the original was 14:31, but I did it. So exactly 30 minutes faster. And that's pretty phenomenal, right? That's something to be happy about, even though I'm still like, meh.
Well, that 1 mile for time went about just like the month of September went for me. It was depressing. My 3 miles for time, I'll put the tag up, was amazing. Like, I pushed through blah feelings, but right after I felt the same blah feelings, and I feel very blah about my 1 mile for time. And my results were not that great. It is the first time that I have not improved over the previous months. So arguably, I guess you could say that I did improve, because the last mile of my 3 miles per time was 17 minutes, which was a 15-second improvement over last month. But that doesn't change the fact that this isn't about comparing this to that. It's about comparing this to last month, in which case I was 16 seconds slower than last month, which just sucks. It just sucks. And last month I was injured. So I was slower. And I don't know. I just didn't care. Like, my husband was available to film for me. I already worked out multiple times today. Like, I did yoga. I did a leg workout with lots of wall balls and front squats, and then I walked the dogs 3 miles, and then I did my 1 mile for time. So maybe I set myself up for failure. I don't know. I felt in a good spot, so I don't think that that's it. I think I just wasn't able to push. I wasn't able to push harder. Like, I wanted to push harder, and I didn't have harder to push. Like, I didn't have I didn't have more to give. So that's very disheartening, and it sucks. Ugh. It just sucks. And I feel like a failure. But I'm not gonna let myself dwell here. Ugh. She says as she continues to dwell. I'm just still like, it's October now, and I'm still just not in a good headspace. That is gonna wrap up today's video. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to me whine about my not great time. I For those of you who encourage me and motivate me and share your stories, share your journey, your struggles, things that you overcome, all the things that you share with me, I'm humbled and inspired and grateful for you. And for the love that you send my way, I am honored and, just like I said, incredibly grateful. And I love you, and I hope that you know that you're loved, and that we all are gonna have bad spots, bad periods, down feelings, and that's okay. It's okay to feel bad. It's okay to have bad things happen. We are more than the bad things that happen to us, or the bad feelings that we have, than our bad days. We are more than our bad days. And I'm hoping October picks up. I'm hoping October picks up, baby. Well, I'll see you on Wednesday. And remember, on Wednesday, we wear pink. Love you, bye.